Before we dive in, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that liked and followed. It really means a lot. Drop a heart in the comments if you enjoyed Protocol Zero.
Protocol Zero Part 4. The Terran peace was a silent one. On Concord, the daily hum of GCE life was replaced by the low, guttural thrum of Terran patrol craft and the rhythmic, heavy tread of legionary patrols. There was no overt cruelty, no public executions or looting. The Terrans were not conquerors in the traditional sense. They were auditors, arriving to foreclose on a civilization that had defaulted on its one and only debt: restraint. Admiral Kira Vex, now the de facto head of the GCE Provisional Authority, was summoned to the former High Executor's Spire, now designated Terran Administrative Hub 1. The halls she once walked with pride were now patrolled by armored giants who ignored her existence, their helmeted heads tracking unseen data streams. They were pillars of a new architecture, one she was forced to inhabit. She was led into the main command center, where Zarthus had once laughed at the Terran warning. The room had been stripped of all GCE regalia. In the center stood a single man, unarmored, dressed in a simple gray Terran administrative uniform. He was observing a large holographic map of the GCE systems. "Admiral Vex," he said without turning. His voice was calm, academic. "I am Proctor Elias Thorne. I will be overseeing the restructuring of your territories." Kira straightened, her military discipline a thin shield for her apprehension. "Proctor, my people are awaiting your terms." Thorne finally turned. He was older than Vance, with lines of deep thought etched around his eyes. He looked more like a university professor than a galactic overlord. "Terms, Admiral, you misunderstand. There are no terms. Terms imply a negotiation between two parties of consequence. You are a failed state under our protection. What we have is a syllabus." He gestured to the holomap, which flickered to life with lines of text and directives. "Your fleet is to be scuttled, not decommissioned, not mothballed. Your shipyards will be retrofitted for civilian transport and resource processing under our supervision. Your weapons research facilities are to be sterilized. We will be providing your children with a new, standardized curriculum. It will focus on galactic history, basic physics, and an extensive study of the Terran Articles of War, with a particular emphasis on the consequences of their violation." Kira's blood ran cold. This was not subjugation, it was erasure. "You intend to strip us of our identity, our history." "Your history," Thorne countered, his voice losing its academic warmth for a fraction of a second, replaced by something ancient and cold, "led you to attack a stellar nursery. Your history is a disease, we are the cure." He let the silence hang for a moment before continuing, his tone returning to one of dispassionate instruction. "There will be a permanent Terran garrison on every one of your colony worlds. These are not peacekeepers, they are tripwires. We call it the Sanctity Clause. Should any Terran personnel, administrative or military, be harmed by a citizen of your species, the penalty will be automatic and disproportionate. We will not conduct an investigation. We will not seek the guilty party. We will simply remove the nearest population center from the map. An eye for an eye is a primitive and inefficient form of justice. We prefer a cancer for a hangnail. It is a far more effective deterrent." Kira felt the floor shift beneath her. She was looking at the true face of Protocol Zero. It wasn't the phantoms or the brutalist warships, it was this. The calm, logical, systematic dismantling of a people, carried out by a man who spoke of wiping out cities with the same emotional detachment as a gardener pulling weeds. "My people will not accept this," she whispered, the words tasting like ash. Thorne gave her a look that was almost pitying. "Yes, they will. They will accept it because their only other option is to be a footnote in the curriculum we will teach to the next species that mistakes our patience for weakness. You believe you are fighting for your culture, Admiral. What you fail to grasp is that your culture has already been weighed, measured, and found wanting. Your only task now is to ensure the survival of your species. Do not fail at that as well." He turned back to his map, the conversation in his mind clearly over. Kira Vex stood frozen, trapped between the promise of her people's physical survival and the certainty of their spiritual death. She looked past Thorne, out the grand viewport at the city of Concord, her city. She saw the Terran flag, a simple iron circle on a field of black flying over the Grand Plaza. The Terran Peace was not about living in harmony. It was about living in a well-managed cage, forever reminded that the zookeeper was a monster who had simply grown tired of pretending he wasn't.
Thanks for watching. Like, share, and follow.